Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're going to do a little bit of renewable fuel stuff, I guess, for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting and sexy stuff.
There is nothing that gets me more worked up than talking about the renewable fuel standard and the blend wall. The blend wall.
What's the blend wall? Oh, yes, I get you.
That's the other side of the renewable fuel standard. Yes. So that when you get to a point where the blend that's required is, I can't explain it actually because I know what it is, but it's the point where the blend. You get to the point where the blend doesn't work anymore. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
I've heard it so many times.
Where it costs too much to transport, where it's not going to provide the same kind of octane,
right?
Where you're going to have to change the engines and everything else. And the truth of the matter is, this is I think with the RFS was established, I believe in 2007. I could be completely wrong, but
it's been around a little bit longer than that.
But anyway, it's essentially so that states that produce ethanol and produce a lot of corn, so it'd be the Corn Belt, can compete with oil companies. And, and GM was the first on board with their the flex fuel E85 stuff. And, I had a Suburban like that, and I liked it. The problem is it doesn't get nearly as good a gas mileage using the ethanol blend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like almost a third. Well, that was my experience. It was almost a third less mileage. And so even though it's cheaper, it kind of balanced out at the end, right? But part of the thing is at what point are we going to go to a renewable fuel that is renewable? Because all this did is basically go, well, all right, we're going to give a little bit of a subsidy to ethanol is basically right, and soybean oil.
Well, there are a lot of biofuel companies that are still kind of trying to come up. We have the largest one in the country, I believe, in Ames, REG, that does a lot of biofuel work. They're working on it, it really is better. I mean, I feel I talked to somebody that works at this company who really believes and has the chops to back it up that biofuels eventually will, if we need to start moving ethanol into the biofuel area because biofuels are going to be better in the long term. We grow so much corn and it is so resource intensive to grow this corn. This is going to sound like heresy in Iowa, and it's been great for us. It really has been great for the Iowa economy to do this, but it takes up a lot of resources. It really does. Farmers have to be so careful with how to take care of the soil, and they do a great job sometimes, and sometimes they don't do as good of a job. And so moving into an area that maybe isn't as requires as much arable land to be growing stuff that ultimately get burned up in cars isn't a bad way to go.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is there's a technology that I keep talking about over and over, and I don't ever seem to get anybody on my side. Cellulosic technology.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like taking a banana and, you don't need the banana peel. All it's going to do is either go in a compost pile or in the garbage, most likely. That's something that you could turn into ethanol. And according to National Geographic, that's the one that gives you almost the biggest bang for the buck. There's a couple of other things out there, and we're not that far from that kind of technology. The problem is we suck up so many billions of gallons of gas that it's going to take us forever to get the infrastructure there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my diesel truck that I have now,
mm-hmm.
it can run on soy oil, right? It can run on the soy diesel. I have no idea where to get it. I don't know how to make it. So it's not a very practical thing. And you have to keep in mind, we've had a solid 150 years of working with oil to make sure that it's the perfect blend that we have now. Right? I mean, we've spent a lot of money and a lot of resources getting it to where we use it now. And the bottom line is it's going to take the same kind of effort to get to the renewable fuel standard. And the problem with the renewable fuel standard is that it's changed. And what it's done is it's required less ethanol in the blend
mm-hmm.
at this point. So for farmers, what that means is even though you're getting a decent price for your corn, that corn price is now going to fall. That's what people are predicting. From my perspective, we are not producing enough ethanol now to meet demand. So even if they reduce the mandate, the demand is still going to be there.
I don't know.
That's my opinion.
You get outside of Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, Illinois, and like you go to, and this has been several years, but you talk to anybody like in Colorado, they hate ethanol, and they hate us for having to have it around.
So why do they hate ethanol?
Because and this is you've heard this in that, like, national politicians express this without saying it in Iowa because they don't want to get us mad at them. They see ethanol as just another subsidized commodity, basically. That it's a boon to us, that it doesn't really help anything else, and that it's a huge cost burden on the folks that don't make a lot of corn, or they don't grow a lot of corn. And
like every subsidy.
I know. I know.
Just like every subsidy.
I know.
So if you're going to be subsidizing oil, well, here's something. Feinstein and Boxer threw a big fit about the RFS back in, I can't remember, mid 2000s. They threw a big fit, and they said, "Oh well, ethanol is poison."
Right.
Well, ethanol really is not poison. It's not like it's not like oil, and it's definitely not like NTBE, which is what they were supporting, which is an oil-based product. And they got up there and they were touting this, and then all the environmentalists got together and said, "You guys are idiots, and this stuff is deadly." I mean, you can take a bath in ethanol. It's not gonna.
You shouldn't.
Well, not the really intense stuff. No, but when you burn it, it turns into water, which is environmentally safe. And the product itself, even if you have a giant spill, isn't going to be anywhere near as toxic as anything else we have outside of solar power.
Right. Well, that's true. It's just that the concern is that it's the resources you required to make ethanol make the environmental savings on the back end a wash. And what I've heard about from other people is that all subsidies. I mean, subsidies are a tough nut to crack, but you have the oil folks that have all these subsidies, and are making all this money, and you've got the biofuel folks and the renewable fuel folks that are getting subsidies, but are saying, "Hey, we get to use the fact that oil has subsidies and doesn't need them as an argument to say we need more money to level the playing field." If all their subsidies go away, then we're kind of left out in the cold by saying, "Hey, now the playing field is level because we're not giving them any money, so we're going to stop giving you money." And it's a convoluted sort of argument, but it's no less stupid than anything else our politicians come up with.
Well, yeah, and the bottom, we've had people that are on here that want renewable fuel, and the bottom line is let's make it an even playing field.
Yep.
Let's make it for everybody. We're going to close out the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Lefty and I want to extend our condolences to the Biden family. It was awful, their loss of Bo, and that the Joe Biden, despite me not agreeing with his politics, has really suffered a lot. Yeah. And regardless of what else you want to say about him, he says what he believes. Mm-hmm. So we want to wish all them well. You going playing anywhere?
Well, folks, I'll be gone next week. It'll be Doc flying solo because I'm I'm planning a private party. But yeah, just
for some 1%ers.
Yes, actually, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm redistributing it to myself, and I'm certainly not in the 1%.
And the hypocrisy does not end with the left.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. I put it on toast, spread it evenly, just chew it up.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back. I'll be back next week. I'm hoping to find myself a guest co-host. So anyway, be back next week. Stay safe, everybody.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys. Both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Love both of them.